before doing anything, why are we here? What kind of aim do we have when we are practicing meditation? Or what is our aim? We come a little closer.
Peace of mind.
To become mindful. Mindfulness.
Consciousness and soul evolution.
Right. Supposing we were to say, in how many worlds do we live simultaneously at the same time? Sitting here. So, what would you call this? As physical space? Madam, don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Don't go into meditation. Just relax. Meditation is not going to solve your problems. We are sitting here in physical space, right? And which other world do we live in at the same time? Inner. So we are living in two worlds simultaneously at the same time. What we call the twofold path. Now, how many of us observe in this inner world? What is our aim? Our immediate aim. Supposing we want to walk on a spiritual path, what is our immediate aim?
To go
inwards and to wake up in this inner world. We won't use big words, soul and all that. It's very simple. This inner world. Okay. Now, supposing we've been practicing for so many years, how many of us can say that, which thought did you wake up with today? How many of us remember which thought we woke up with today?
Physical.
Today, Rajan, why is coming? Get ready.
That is physical word.
No, you wake up in a certain state. You wake up in a certain state, and that state is made up of our thoughts, our emotions, our motives. And the beauty is that, supposing you were to talk about your life, what would you talk about? What would you talk about? Can you hear at the back?
Yeah.
What would you talk about?
What progress I made in my life.
Right. So what would you talk about? You'd say that, okay, when I was young I did this, right? And when I got married I did this, and then I had children, and this, and this, and this. So what are you talking about?
Depending on the audience.
No. What are you talking about? When you're saying you did this,
The life, subject, I guess, physical.
you are talking about everything
Time.
external. Right? When you say you're using your memory, you're talking about events which are external. What do you know about happened inside? In all those, how old are you?
61.
61. What happened inside in all those 61 years? Zero. So with all our meditation, with all our knowledge, so-called knowledge and information that we gather and read, we go from 0 to 70 or 75, we die, and not a single moment do we wake up in this inner world. And that is what spirituality is all about. What is happening inside? It has nothing to do with what is happening outside. All we are focused on is what is happening outside, without knowing what is happening inside. Until this happens, It doesn't make any difference what we do, whether we go to the temple, whether we do mantra, whether we do yoga, whatever we do, if we have not woken up in that inner world, nothing has happened. मैं चला तो खूब, पहुंचा कहीं भी नहीं, यानी चले ही. Only talk of the external. It's now 9 o'clock in the morning. Can you remember what you passed, which inner states you passed through from morning to 9 o'clock? Say you got up at 6 o'clock, 3 hours. Somebody's phone call came, what thoughts were going on, what emotions were going on, and suddenly it changed. Then breakfast was cold or hot and suddenly it changed. And all spirituality is concerned with is what is happening inside. It has nothing to do with what is happening outside. It's a myth. Unless we can awaken to that inner world, nothing will happen. So, and it takes years and years of hard practice. It's not something we do come for 1 hour and we do as if we go for some tea party or something. It's constant. When we get married, what does the wife want? Newly married wife, what does she want? What does she want from her husband?
Constant attention.
Huh?
Constant
Very
attention.
good. They're walking along the road, the newly married couple, and there's another girl going on the other side of the road, and the husband's eyes go like this, and she... no attention anywhere else, all attention on me. All attention on me. What is attention? Who's going to tell me? What is attention? What is attention? What is attention? There's a dead body, does it? Huh?
Focus with lot of awareness.
Where does attention come from? What is the source of attention? What does attention do? There's a dead body lying on the road, right? Does it have attention? No. So what is attention?
Mind focusing.
See, some things it's difficult to explain in English. I'll go into Hindi, but what is attention? What is attention?
Inner mind, inner soul, inner spirit, focusing on things. Inner mind, inner soul, inner spirit, focusing on things.
Okay. To see you, I need
Eyes.
right. But what goes out through the eyes so to make it possible? Even a dead body has eyes. What goes out to make it possible to see you?
The thought.
Attention. If I pay attention to you, I can see you, I can recognize you. You get it? So attention is the light, the torch, which goes out, sees the world outside, allows me to relate to the world, to relate to people. Everything in life is based upon attention. The eyes are just doors. The eyes and the ears are just doors. There may be a lot of sound, but if I'm not paying attention, I don't hear it. So it is this thing called attention. Now, what is attention? Where does it come from? It is the most valuable thing we have. More valuable than all our money and everything put together. What is attention?
Mindfulness.
What is attention? Is it mind or is it coming from somewhere beyond the mind? What is attention? What is attention? What is soul? When you use the word soul, what is the meaning of the word soul? Why do we use the word soul?
It will be translated antakaran.
Antakaran ka man, buddhi, chit, ahankar. Those are instruments. Attention is not an instrument. The instruments focus attention. The instruments diffuse attention. The instruments are there to play with attention. But attention is something which is not a part of the instruments. Like I have eyes, they are physical instruments. Yoga says that we have some subtle instruments inside. Maybe they call it man, the manas, it has a certain function. The buddhi, it has a certain function. The chitta has a certain function. Right? What is attention? It is not a part of all this. It is not a part of all this. What is attention? And it is, in ancient Crete, there was a king called Minos. And Minos used to have a way of punishing the people. He had a big maze. And he would send the prisoners inside, and then they didn't know how to go outside, and they would die in that maze. And one day, one guy, he took a ball of string and he tied it outside. And he went in, they left him inside, and he took the string, he came out. Now, what is attention? What is attention? The whole secret of spirituality is in one word, attention.
Concentration.
No. You focus attention, it is concentration. You use an instrument called the mind to focus attention, it is concentration.
It's the power.
Okay, let's put this on the side. Supposing we are studying the Mahabharata, and we have this character called Dhritarashtra. Dhrit means to hold. Rashtra means kingdom. The one who holds the inner kingdom. Right? Dhritarashtra. And he is portrayed as blind. So this old king is portrayed as blind. And what does that blindness mean? Why is he portrayed as blind?
He's not inward. He hasn't looked inward.
Right, he has not looked inward. But why is he blind? What is... there is a rishi called Vyas. He wrote the Mahabharata. Is he interested in showing some blind king, or is he trying to tell us something else? What is he trying to tell us?
He's blinded by the love for his children.
He's blinded, by the love for his children. But how does this process happen? Take attention, I'm trying to. And we'll use a Hindi word for attention. We won't use the English word. We'll use the word jeev. We'll use the word jeev. Jeev means soul. Jeev means soul.
Because he hasn't focused his attention on the kingdom, and so he's blind. Because he stands for, as a king, he stands for. So he's actually.
He is blind because I think that he was supposed to look inside, within, and not look at the world outside. He has to focus inside. And that's why he was not supposed to see the world outside.
Let's quantify things. Okay? We'll take the soul as, say, light. Right? Light. And we'll say this soul can be quantified, 100 rupees of light. The soul, what is the magnitude of the soul, or the, it's 100 rupees of light. We won't use the English word, because in English it's very difficult to explain. We use the Hindi word, or the Sanskrit word, jeev. Right? Okay. Now, I have 100 rupees of light with me, and I go to a department store and I see a beautiful thing in the store. So 1 rupee of light goes out through the eyes, which I call as I'm paying attention. I see it, I say I like it, and I say I want it. I say I want it. Of course, I don't have any money in my pocket. I say I can't buy it, but when I go back home, that thing keeps on constantly working in my mind. What has happened? What has happened?
Attention is right there.
My attention is there. 1 rupee of light went out, got stuck to that thing, did not come back inside. Did not come. How much is left? 99. Right. Now, in Gujarati, in Hindi also is useless. Gujarati. Gujarati, we have one saying, "Jeev bade chhe." Jeev bade chhe. जी जलता है, पर इंग्लिश हिंदी इज नॉट, इट डजंट.
बड़े तो हम समझे ज्यादा हो गया.
बड़े जलता है,
बर्निंग.
जी जलता है. हम प्रेम में पढ़ते तो जी जलता है. ओके. Now, what has happened? Till I get that thing, what will happen? Maro jeev? Bade. It will be stuck with that. And now all of us will ask a question. कि क्या क्या जीव बड़े से? क्या क्या जीव बड़े से? Vero, your son. If he falls ill tomorrow, जीव बढ़े कि नहीं बढ़े? Say? जीव बढ़ से. So that means out of that 100 rupees of light, some has gone out and stuck with him. It's not come back inside. बराबर? Bank balance.
So it will become attachment.
Attachment એટલે મમતા કહેવાય. મમતા. બહાર તો ગયું, પાછું અંદર
नहीं आया.
આવ્યું नहीं. બહાર તો ગયા, વાપસ અંદર नहीं आया. अच्छा, बैंक बैलेंस. कोई लेके जाएगा तो जी
बड़े.
बड़े छे. तो अटेंशन तो गया पैसे में, वापस भीतर नहीं आया. अपनी गाड़ी है, बाहर खड़ा है, लेकिन एक बच्चा आता है और ऐसे एक पत्थर लेके ऐसे एक लकीर खींच लेता है. तो गाड़ी तो कुछ होता नहीं, लेकिन अपने को जी जलता है. सो दैट 100 rupees ऑफ अटेंशन जो मेरे पास है, हाँ, जो विच आई कॉल एज सोल, बच्चे में फंस गया, बैंक बैलेंस में फंस गया, गाड़ी में फंस गया, घर में फंस गया. बाकी भीतर कितना बचा है? Zero. धृतराष्ट्र. There is no light left inside. No light left inside. तो स्थूल चीजों में फंस जाता है, स्थूल चीजों में, सूक्ष्म चीजों में फंस जाता है. ये मेरा बेटा है, उसमें फंस जाता है. ये मेरी बीवी है, हाँ, मेरी बात नहीं मानेगी तो मेरा जी जलता है. राइट. और सूक्ष्म चीज विचारों में फंस जाता है. मैं कहता हूँ मैं इंडियन हूँ, तो भगवान आया था कोई देश लाइन दौड़ने के लिए, लेकिन कोई जोक करेगा और इंडियन का जोक करेगा तो मेरा जी जलेगा. तो जो 100 रुपया लेके मैं आया था, जिसको मैं सोल कहता हूं, व्हाट आई कॉल एज द सोल, ऑल गॉन इनसाइड डार्कनेस. द ब्लाइंड किंग धृतराष्ट्र सब बाहर फंस गया. नाउ व्हाट डू आई डू? What do I do now to fill this inner emptiness where everything has gone outside? How do I fill this inner emptiness? With what do I fill it up?
Do you need a vairagya for that?
Cut those
We're getting back to
We come to vairagya. Well, first, what do I do? What path do I choose?
Get that light back.
Detach.
Yeah, I wish we could.
Yeah, but detachment.
I wish we could, but what do we do? Instead of filling it with our light, what do we do?
meditation.
We fill it with Omkar. We come to Omkar. We fill it with other people's. Fill it with other people's
Unconditional love.
attention. I'm talking over here, so all of you all are paying attention. This is chori. Chori. It's robbery. There's only one robbery. Not according to law. All these laws are man-made. Man-made. If I take 5 rupees from his pocket, the judge will say that's robbery. But according to dharma, it's not robbery. It has nothing to do. Right? Dharma, there's only one chori, and that is I steal your attention. Because your jeev wants that attention to go inside of you, not of me. But I feel empty inside. I wasted it all. And I feel that by you knowing me and she knowing me and you inviting me for dinner and you inviting me for tea and my name coming in the newspaper, or maybe I win some election or something, I get this false feeling that other people are giving me light, so that inner darkness has been filled. Ahanta. My attention goes out, does not come back in. Mamta. To replace it, I seek other people's attention. Ahanta. And it can never be done. With all my elections, with how many people know me, with everything I do in life, it cannot be filled because the inner soul feeds on its own attention. Feeds on its own attention. So the whole path starts with taking our own attention inside. And it doesn't stay inside for a fraction of a second. Abhyasa. Holding the attention inside. Vairagya. Knowing the science of what distracts the attention outside and trying to put an end to it. Vairagya. Abhyasa vairagya bhyam tan nirodha tatra sthito yatna abhyasa. Now, of course, Patanjali uses the word, he doesn't use tatra sthiti, he uses the word tatra sthito. Sthito is dual. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Why is he using a dual word? He's saying, for that dual state, the effort which you make is called abhyas. Tatra sthito yatna prayatna. Yatna, the effort which I put in, yatna abhyasa.
Inward, external word and internal word.
Internal, yes. He's saying you must live in these, your attention must be divided in such a way that you are observing both the worlds simultaneously, together. This is the beginning of walking on the path. Unless I'm living in these two worlds at the same time. Now there's a trick involved here. It's not so easy. And this trick, it can't be done by meditation. Why can't it be done by meditation? Why can't it be done by meditation?
Because meditation is only internal.
Right. Vimuktata, I see you, sanmuktata, and life is a balance of both of them. Right. Okay. But still there's something more over here. Something more. I hope you're with me. You're not, if you feel bored, I'll talk on Omkar. I don't know. I just thought I'll talk on any nonsense over here. Tell me. What is the trick involved here? Why not meditation? What happens in meditation? What do I do when I'm sitting with my eyes closed? I hope we are not daydreaming, but what happens? I take all my attention inside. Can that work? It cannot work. It cannot work. Why can't it work? Why can't it work?
Because our attachment are too much outside.
No. What
focus is keep on going outside.
What happens in that inner world in which I want to now wake up to? That inner, I'm now taking my attention inside so I can observe that inner world. Why can't 100% attention not work? Why does it not work well?
You still have to live in the external world.
Yeah, that is a part of it. But what goes wrong?
Mind goes all over the place.
Detachment.
I lived with one Swamiji, for 7 years. Before I met Tauriya Sahib, I was with many gurus. Tauriya Sahib was my last guru, and whatever I have is because of him. But this was a beautiful Swamiji, and 7 years he trained me. And he used to say that you go for a movie, and instead of seeing the movie, take one chair, put it near the screen in the opposite direction, and look at the people's eyes. Right? Everybody is watching the movie. Of course, this is how what happens in life. One event comes, hypnotize. Next event comes, hypnotize. What's happening inside the mind. Right? But to see inside, to be able to see inside, something has to be done over here. What happens? Supposing, I'm not saying you have, but supposing there is irritation in you. Right? And if you take all your attention inside, will you be able to observe that irritation? No. It's not possible. It will run away. It will run away. So, it has to be done in such a way that that irritation is fooled. You know how the law of karma works. No? The law of karma works. Right? I have 100 rupees of irritation. Where is it lying? Where is it lying? Where is this irritation lying? Within where? In the subconscious or maybe unconscious mind. Right? And I meet you and you're wearing this orange t-shirt, and of course maybe I don't like orange. So I get irritated. What has happened? What has happened?
Prejudice. You don't like.
I don't like it. So out of that 100 rupees of irritation which is lying in my subconscious mind, 1 rupee has come into the conscious mind. Now I cannot observe the unconscious mind or the subconscious. I can only observe the conscious mind. Now 1 rupee has come into the conscious mind. I get irritated. I say, how can you wear an orange shirt? I throw it out. What happens over here? What happens? How much goes back? How much goes back?
101.
101. 1 rupee came out, but 2 rupees went inside. So now how much of irritation do I have? 101. I had 100. 1 rupee came out, 99 remained. It made a friend. I got irritated. Bandhan bada ke ghata? Bad gaya. Ye to karma. This is all that karma is about. Now, if that 1 rupee of irritation came into the conscious mind and I observed it, of course there's a whole process. We'll go into that someday, how it's done. But if I observed it, and I did not get irritated, and I'm free of that 1 rupee of irritation, what will happen? 99. And if that irritation is made of a certain substance, somebody was talking about prana, it's made of a certain substance, and suddenly that substance is freed. What happens in that moment of freedom? What happens? Joy. There is upliftment. There is upliftment, it's moksha. For thousands and thousands of years that irritation has been binding me. And for that one moment suddenly I am free. That moment of freedom, everything becomes clear that this is what I have to be free from my own self, my own subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind, to observe that irritation, if I throw 100% attention on that irritation, it will go back into the subconscious mind. I'll say, I'm not irritated. So I cannot observe inside with 100% attention. There is a ratio involved. There is a ratio involved. It has to be divided in a certain way that 90% is on your t-shirt and only 10% is observing that irritation which has come into the conscious mind. I just observe it. I pause. There will be a stream of thoughts. There will be a stream of emotions. I don't open my door for any one of them. When we were children, we used to play. What do you play? Statue. Beautiful game, statue. Not statue of the body, statue of the Mind. The irritation has come with all its sena of thoughts and emotions, and those, they are trying to hypnotize me so I get irritated. And at that moment I am just statue. I pause inside. It's like in the jungle. If you move, you're gone. There are the lions and the deadly animals, and then the deer are there and they are just standing there like that. As long as they're standing, the lion can't do anything. But then after some time their patience goes and they take a jump, and the minute movement is there, the lion, that is the inner secret. If you don't move in the mind, don't move in the mind, you're watching that irritation. Don't watch it with too much attention, otherwise it will go back, it will hide away. You'll say, I'm free of attention, and मैं तो बहुत meditation करता है. It doesn't work that way. That is why too much of meditation can be dangerous.
So I have
Yes.
a question. When you said that you don't open your doors, you mean to say that you do not say anything from your voice, or you do not have any expression on your eyes? Is that what you mean? Or
Go step by step. Let us go step by step. I want to cook the food, but there's also the process of cutting the vegetables and this and final cooking. So we want to go to a process of cooking to non-cooking, not cooked. Right? So there will be different stages in that. Half cooked. Different stages. What does it mean? What does it mean to allow a thought inside? Okay, where do thoughts come from? Thank you for the water. Where do thoughts come from? Are the thoughts ours, or do they come from somewhere else?
External.
Thoughts are not. It is only when I say this is my thought that I get married to it. You don't get married. Right? Open the door. I don't allow the thought. We'll go a little deeper into this. What happens with each thought? What happens? Say कि architect है, and this architect wants to make a home. So he designs the home, and the home is ready in his mind. So when he goes to make the home, what happens? See, the whole home is ready in his mind. The form is ready. The matter is not ready. Life consists of three things: life, form, matter. Right? Matter from the earth, form from the planets, life from the sun. Okay. Now, he goes to build this house. He has already built it inside, but when he really goes to build it, what happens over there? He has to start brick by brick. He can't say the whole house is ready over in my mind. Maybe if he knew some mantra or something, and the whole house is ready. It's not possible. He has to build it brick by brick. Similar is the law of karma. That thought, which I've allowed, you've not yet got it, what it means by allowing that thought to enter my home. Is that I do something with the thought. I do something with the thought. Right? So if a thought comes that tomorrow again he's going to wear an orange shirt. Right? What comes? The minute I say, I don't want this, I have allowed that thought to come in my home. Right? And that thought is the whole house. The whole house. But it is in a subtle dimension of time and space, lying somewhere in the psyche. Right? But it's going to express at the physical level. And how is it going to express? Brick by brick. I'll say after 20 years I got cancer. Where did this cancer come from? Where did it come from? Brick by
Correct.
brick. Get it? How karma is built. But that thought which I allowed in my house at that time, it was decided that the cancer has to come. And that is why all this which is lying in this subconscious mind, that is in total darkness, it is that which we want to be free of. Now, when we sat down over here, somebody said peace of mind and God knows what. Huh? Who all said peace of mind? When I was with my guru, there was not a single moment of peace of mind. If he saw that this guy was at peace, the only thing he would do was how to upset that peace. So, what are we looking for? हम जब गुरु के पास जाते हैं तो क्या चाहिए हमको? शांति चाहिए या मुक्ति चाहिए? क्या चाहिए? शांति नहीं, हमें क्या चाहिए? मुक्ति, freedom. And it is freedom from this which we have been carrying, this baggage which we have been carrying for God knows how many years. That cannot be done by just sitting and observing like this. It has to be done in the small relationships of life. Small relationships of life. I see you, you say something, I don't like it, something comes from the subconscious, I observe it, I be free of it. Now I'll say, I want peace, then don't like it is not peace. And this is moment to moment. Every moment in our lives. Practice this. Take at least, if you start today, to really know that what is happening inside this separate world which we live in all the time from morning to evening. We may be sitting in a beautiful bedroom, right? Beautiful, maybe air conditioned, etc., etc. But here, I'm thinking about when she took my 100 rupees and how I'm going to get even with her. Psychologically, I'm sitting in the gutter. However much the physical space is good and beautiful, the psychological space, and it is that psychological space which we want to change.
The one you just mentioned about for many births, his subconscious, unconscious mind, you collected that God baggage, you said. We may not be even aware of it, how much is collected. How much is collected so far over the period of so many births. I mean, it's still there.
It is still there, definitely. And we don't want to know how much is collected. We want to know whether there is a way to be free of it. And do we want to walk on that path of freedom or not? We want to make efforts towards that. And if you start today, you will know how much is collected after 12 years of hard work inside. That's called as Vanvas. The Pandavas went for 12 years Vanvas. Kai saw that Ram Bhagwan had to go through Vanvas, so she created this drama of telling Dashratha that you give me this vow. The real hero of the Ramayana is Kai. She created this. क्या ये लड़का भी तैयार नहीं है, उसको थोड़ो वनवास में डालने की जरूरत है, भेज दो उसको वनवास में, है तो भगवान का अवतार था। ये वनवास 12 साल, जब 12 साल हम भीतर देखते 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 एक एक विकार निकलता है, वो विकार का साइंस हम समझते कैसे बीज बोया था, किस समय में बोया था, वो आयाम में से ये आयाम में वो प्रकट किस ढंग से हुआ। जब हम ये समझते जाते हैं, धीरे धीरे वो भीतर की दुनिया खुलती है। और जैसे ये दुनिया में हम बैठे, वैसे वो दुनिया में जब जागते हैं, जागृति आ जाती है, एक अवेकनिंग आ जाती है, तब ये पूरा एक सृष्टि है वो स्वप्न बन जाता है। awakening to the inner can be done. That is all that spirituality is about. Otherwise, we are only concerned with external events of our lives. And it is this inner space which at the moment of death will all come together, all the flowers will come together, make a few drops of perfume, and that perfume goes with the soul. Carry it across different dimension of time and space. ये करने का है, to wake up, इसको जागृति कहते हैं. ये थोड़ी बात आपके साथ की कि जिस दिशा में हम जा रहे हैं वो दिशा सही है या नहीं, हमें भीतर पूछना चाहिए कि हमारा लक्ष्य क्या है. अगर जागने का लक्ष्य है तो वो रोज उस दिशा में मैं कितना कर रहा हूँ. तो सुबह जरा जब उठते हैं, ऑफिस जाते हैं, जस्ट पॉज फॉर सम टाइम कि 2 घंटा हो गया मैं, सिंस आई वोकन अप, which inner states did I pass through? What thoughts were related to those states? What emotions came to those states? And suddenly you will see that it's changing every few minutes. It is changing. You put on the laptop, you see some work was undone at night, immediately the state will change to negative. Then a good cup of tea, immediately the state will change to positive. When the son is late for school, again it will change to negative. And it is these inner states which we have to be aware of. Not that the son was late for school, it has nothing to do with that. अच्छा, थोड़ी और गहराई में जाते हैं. अभी यहाँ तक तो पहुंचे हैं, थोड़ी और गहराई में जाते हैं. जो घटनाएं मेरे जीवन में बनती है, the events of my lives, my life, how are they connected to these inner states? How are they connected to these inner states?
They are connected because घटनाएं तो होती है, लेकिन how you take it inside.
Very good, very good. What does that change?
That changes the outcome, or not the outcome, but your perspective and how you would react, your reaction to that.
Supposing I'm living a certain life, right? In that life, I get irritated on small matters, get angry on small matters. I'm very negative, right? If you were to talk about me to him, कि भाई उसको मत बुलाओ, वो जरा इस किस्म का आदमी है, right? Now, what does that mean? This kind of life that I'm living, does it take me on a certain line of time and space? Just समझो, in which the events which are going to come to me are already predetermined. Just think about it. I don't have a blackboard, otherwise I would have drawn it for you. You get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm living in a certain way, internally, not externally. Externally I'm very nice, right? Internally I'm living in a certain way, and because of that I'm stuck to a certain line, gravitation. I'm stuck to a certain line of time and space. Now supposing in that line of time and space there's death over here. What happens? What happens? आप समझे? मैं एक किस्म का जिंदगी जी रहा हूं, कुछ भी मेरे अंदर बदलाव नहीं है. तो वो जो मेरा साइकोलॉजिकल जिंदगी जो है, वो मुझे क्या करता है कि एक समय की लकीर है, एक समय की रेखा है, उसके ऊपर चलने के लिए मुझे मजबूर करता है. और वो जो समय की लकीर है, वहां यहां जो घटना लिखी हुई है वो है मृत्यु.
मतलब किसकी मृत्यु?
हाँ जी
घटना की मृत्यु।
नहीं,
ओह आपकी, ओके।
हाँ, वो क्यों है? क्योंकि ये जो लकीर मैंने खींची है वहां ये जगह पे लिखी हुई है. You didn't get it. I'm trying to just tell you what we want to wake up to. Is this point in time and space where my death is? Why is it written? Because I'm living a certain
way of life.
Okay, now what happens? What happens? Supposing I get irritated on you, and now I don't get irritated, I observe that irritation. So out of 100 irritations, I have 99. The gravitation which was holding me to this line has changed. There is some freedom.
To an extent.
Right? Supposing we say there are two lines of time, horizontal time and vertical. Right? Horizontal time and vertical time. And अच्छा, हम सब ने ज्योमेट्री तो सीखा है सब ने. Okay. So who is the founder of geometry? Who is the founder of geometry? Euclid? Euclid. हाँ, और यूक्लिड ने जब ज्योमेट्री का निर्माण किया, हाँ, तो how did he start? What was his presupposition, presumption? How did he start? How does geometry start? What is the first statement of geometry? When we learn geometry, what is the first statement in geometry? Suppose there is a
coordinate
point. Suppose there is a point, and if that point were to move, it becomes a line. The first dimension of space. Later, of course, now science has proven that Euclid का सब imaginary था. There is nothing in the universe called a straight line. There are no straight lines in the universe. It's not possible, right? So मैं आपको गाली देता हूँ. यहाँ से गया, I feel I'm talking in a straight line, but there is no straight line. आपको तक पहुँच नहीं सकता, तो कहाँ जाएगा?
Universe.
Because there is no straight line, right? फिर भी, because we have to learn ये, there are two things in life, three things: the dream, the fact, the reality. The fact is that we are living in three-dimensional space. It may not be the reality. सत्य नहीं है, पर तथ्य है कि हम three-dimensional space में जी रहे हैं. Right? So for that we need Euclid. So he'll say, if the point is moving, the point becomes a line, and if the line moves, it becomes a plane, and if the plane moves, it becomes a cube. And this is three-dimensional space. This is three-dimensional space. Similarly, time is also every moment of time in a horizontal. How the moment is made, of course, Patanjali goes very deep into Shana Tata Krama Yoho Sanyamat Viveka Jam Jnanam. When he talks of what is Vivek, he says Vivek is that being able to decipher, to see the difference between the moment of time and the movement of the moment of time. Shana Tata Krama Yoho Sanyamat Viveka Jam Jnanam. Anyway, so now we will say that there is a line of time. And I am living this line of time because I am what I am. In the morning I got up, got angry on my husband. I am what I am. And if the tea is cold, this tea is useless. I am what I am. And I eat only cereal for breakfast and nothing else. I am what I am. And if I go to office and if nobody has done their work, I get irritated. I am what I am. This line of time, this is the gravity, my own subconscious mind, my own psyche, which is holding me to this line of time, and it's making me move like this. The one line of time, death is written over here. That death is definitely going to come because I'm stuck to this line of time. We'll see this in another way. I go to a restaurant. I go to a restaurant, right? And service is very bad. So I get very angry on the waiter and I call him all sorts of names, right? And this waiter goes home and gets angry on his young daughter. Because he can't get angry on me, obviously. He goes home and he gets angry on his young daughter, and she appears next day in the exam and fails. Can you see how time is connected? How time is connected. Time, everything in time is connected. It's like a network. It's like a network. One small change of not getting angry on that waiter changes everything in time. So, now I am suddenly free of this irritation, this one irritation. So I move from this line of time a little higher into another dimension of time. The line has moved. The moving of the line becomes the plane, eternity. The Guru does not work in the present moment. The Guru works in a different dimension of time. It is called eternity. Right? You feel that he has come to give a talk. There's nothing to give a talk. I just have to throw a seed. If the seed sprouts and it starts growing in another dimension, my work is done. And if it's not done, doesn't matter. So many seeds are thrown anyway. That's in this line of time. ये समझ में आया मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? I know it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult. So if I change, then I move from this line of time in a vertical dimension. अध्यात्म सीढ़ी है. समझते हैं? सीढ़ी है और एक एक में पगथिया चढ़ रहा हूं. तदा द्रष्टुहु स्वरूपे अवस्थानम. अवस्था, एक एक अवस्था बदलती जा रही है. और वो जो मृत्यु यहाँ आने वाली थी, ये मैं यहाँ तो आऊंगा, लेकिन ये समय की रेखा में नहीं हूं. Because that anger is not there, which is holding me here, which is pulling me down here, the gravitation, I move across it. It cannot touch me at that point. You understand? If we go to change the events of life, but if we change, the events change automatically. Everything changes. That death cannot touch me now. I move in a different law. The laws have changed. Because that which was holding me to that line of time is no longer there. Everything will change in our lives. So, it is this inner stuff which we are holding. Can we start working on it? Can we start observing it? Can we move a little bit every day in the ladder of freedom? But if nothing changes over there, nothing will change. The same events, everything is the same. It just keeps repeating. So I had to talk on Omkar today. I thought I'll just... Right? If anybody wants to ask anything, otherwise we'll proceed to Omkar. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Let's say we observe the thought. I got irritation, I observed it, and I took a pause and I didn't express it. How can I get free of that? Like, what should I do to get free of that?
The feeling.
The feeling, yeah. Let's say I observed my irritation and I just didn't speak out. I didn't express it. It's in my mind. How can I get, like...
You know, there was one Chinese teacher before Lao Tzu. His name was Le Tzu. And Le Tzu one day he went fishing. So he took a hook, put a worm on the hook, and threw it into the water. And he said, now let me meditate. So he sat with the rod, and the fish came and ate the worm. And he said, wait, let it get caught properly. Took the worm and went up. So Le Tzu is saying, too slow. Have to go a little faster. So he again took a little worm, put it on the hook, threw it inside. Fish came. The minute he pulled it out, the fish went away. It's too fast. Third time he threw the hook. And then the fish came and it caught the worm and started pulling. And Layataju only pulled that much that the fish was pulling. Again the fish would pull and he pulled only that much balance. Yeah? That the fish was pulling, and at one point the fish got caught on the hook. The secret lies over here. I get irritated, the irritation is pulling me. How is it pulling me? By enticing me. It will throw thought that he's going to wear the same shirt tomorrow. So I feel I got to do something about it. Right? It will entice me. It will throw different crumbs of bread. So I have to say I don't want it. I'm stuck. And I only pull that irritation, the amount that the irritation is pulling me. And I hold it over. This tug of war will go on inside. It will last for some time. And at one point, fish is caught. Fish is caught. The irritation has gone. And there's nothing. There are no thoughts. Because with that irritation, all its friends have also gone away. And there's total empty space inside. And in that empty space, I am just watching. And at one point, the question will come that this watching which I am doing inside, who is this who is watching? Who is this who is watching? The spirit, the soul can only see, it cannot do. To do it needs an ego. It cannot do. It can only see. So that doing process is over. When I walk on the path, I make a new ego. You have to make a new ego to walk on the path. You'll decide, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go to sleep at night, I'll do this, I'll do that. Right? After some time, we don't need it. That's why we call this new ego as Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu, he kills 1/4 of all the warriors and then dies. So it's a new ego, Abhiman. Manyu means the highest, of the highest. Abhiman of the highest. Right? This inner, new ego. Say from tomorrow, something will have to decide. So the ego does. The spirit does not do. It only sees. And at that moment when everything has gone inside, only the seeing consciousness, the perceiving consciousness remains. And then something will come inside. Who is this who is seeing? देखो रे देखो, उसे तो देखो, जो दिख रहा है उसे नहीं, जो देख रहा है उसे. मुक्ति मिल गया.
First step is not to observe and not to express.
Not to express is the first step. Second step is not to suppress, balance. Third step is not to get involved with any of the thoughts.
So just
pause,
forget
wait.
it.
And at one point everything will go away. Only the seeing consciousess will remain.
So to suppress it, how does one suppress it? And do you want to turn into better thoughts, like if this person has an orange? How do you
want to turn into better thoughts? You have opened the door and allowed the thought
come in. So how do you?
We don't want to turn it into
another
anything. We want to observe it as it is. We are not in a class for personality development. Take bad thoughts, make them into good thoughts. All nonsense.
How long you hold it? How do you know? This is confusing.
It is confusing. You have to practice it. That's why I said 12 years. I didn't say 200 lifetimes. My guru told me 200 lifetimes. I said 12 years of practice.
So I think what you're saying is no judgment. Just observe it and
the minute you judge, you've allowed the thought to come in. The karma has been built. Now brick by brick, the house will be made. Yes, sir.
How do you discern between observation and judgment? Because very easily you can slip towards judgment.
It will take time because both are stuck together. The judgment is so automatic. So what do you work on to be free of judgment? Tell me. What do you work on to be free of judgment?
Attention.
Observe.
Like and dislike. Like and dislike.
If you eliminate completely.
Just observe the like. I dislike you. Why do I dislike you? Then why do I dislike? All of us, I'm sure, dislike somebody or the other.
Because of some experience.
Why? Have we ever observed inside? Why do I dislike? I don't dislike her. But why? Why do I dislike her?
Because of our thought.
Because it doesn't agree with
No, try to go a little deeper.
Because she started meditation.
No, madam, for years I've been a meditator. Before I met Tawariya Sahib, I started when I was 16, one guru, two gurus and all that, and I was meditating, and I came to Tawariya Sahib and he said, you've got to forget your meditation. So I started from ABC again after 18 years of meditation. And he said, only this breathing, no meditation. So I started the breathing. It took me 2 years to be free of meditation. Well, meditator has a subtle ego inside. How can he do this stupid breathing? No? He's so separate from life. Anyway, so and then I started working with him. I got only 6 years with him. And in those 4 years, he really worked on me. And just 3 weeks before he left the body, I could see that something has changed. I'm walking on my own feet. And then he said, this guy will continue my work. And then he left after 3 weeks. Full health. Full health. So, and before that, if I had asked him, how long will it take, like he's asking, how long will it take, he would tell me 200 lifetimes. I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. Gurus are not good guys. They're not good guys.
So what does it help to see that that's how we are hold it how long? Is it the meditation?
No, it is the last thought. The last thought.
What does it mean?
Means I don't like her. Right? So that is the thought. After that many thoughts will come. Because she has related to this person like this person is like this. I stay statue with the last thought. I don't like her, I don't like her, I don't like her. That's it. I don't allow any other thought to come in. Statue, I stay there. And that is the trick.
Oh, I in this. Stay there.
Just mention.
You just don't go continue with thought.
Don't get involved with any other thought because they'll come in a whole flood. They'll come in a flood.
Just mention that we wake up in the morning till we go to the bed in the night. We look in the external world. Now, we never pause here to see what happened internally. Now, during this process the whole day, for example, a moment should come here, we should also be looking, thinking about that. So what is that process? I mean, in other words, you mentioned irritation, you mentioned anger, you mentioned everything. But in order to, it's going to be a very difficult process, but slowly getting where you want to go inward. So during the whole day time, what is that? सीढ़ी पे चढ़ने वाला क्या है?
We have to create a new memory. नई एक स्मृति बनाना पड़ता है. और उसको साधना की स्मृति कहते हैं. It's a different kind of memory, which helps us at the right time. Karna hai. Karna means ear. Right? Karna means ear. Means I hear so many things, but I don't live anything. Suna hua gyan hai. So at the right moment, it can never help me. So in the right moment, when he needed it in the midst of battle, he forgot the sloks which his guru had told him. Suna hua, karna. Right? Suna hua. He forgot it. We forget. We have to remember. And for that we have to create a totally different memory. And for that you have to pinpoint. Say, okay, what time do you go to office? 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, before that, for 5 minutes, before going to office, I'll sit in my armchair, close my eyes, and I'll go back to the moment I woke up in the morning, and I'll try to retrace from there what all thoughts, what all emotions, what all states, and later on what motives were there behind them. I'll try to retrace. Itna to kar sakte hain.
But how
It
do
will not take 2-3 minutes.
But how do you wanted to get rid of those, is not?
No, we don't want to get rid of anything. We don't want. We only want to observe. We don't want. If we do something, we'll do it wrong. Don't do. Right.
So then, when the judgment comes, when you retrace the 3 hours or 2 hours that you were awake,
don't judge.
But when it comes, you say that you then focus on why you're judging at that point.
Just drop it.
Just drop it.
Just drop it. I just want to go through what I went through. A point comes in my life after years of practice that not a single thought or an inner state can escape my attention. Then I woke up to a different time. Then I'll find out who is this guy who's observing. That's a different journey. Let's get to there at least.
So Rajen bhai, when we are observing or thinking, sitting in a place for last 4 or 5 hours of our journey, whatever, and whatever good or bad thought came our mind or deeds that we did, we don't even judge those. Just remember how was it. That's it.
And for that, in normal life, you have to work on like and dislike. Otherwise, we'll never be free of judgment. I don't like her, now work on liking her.
So, and when you said that when we dislike someone, that means the last thought that we put that was of dislike. So
just hold it. Just hold it.
We don't have to turn into liking.
Why? If you know why I dislike her, it will turn into liking automatically. Why do I dislike her? Come on, we came back to that one. Why do I dislike her?
But you have to like it somehow.
It will come.
Mother-in-law, father-in-law, you have to like her. So
Yeah, if I know why I dislike her, I'll automatically
like her.
like her. Now, why do I dislike her?
There are certain people that, and you have some experiences with them.
That's basically action versus reaction.
Huh?
Basically, action versus reaction. You probably reacted on the actions of.
Let's go a little deeper. Let us go a little deeper. Why do I dislike her?
Because of certain experiences that we go through with that person.
Predetermined.
Yeah, it is some experiences
Right.
we had, right?
Right.
Some experiences we may have had on the way of life.
Right.
But that is not the cause of my dislike. Dislike was already lying within me. Those experiences, those events just allowed the inner dislike to come out. Now, why did it come? Why was she instrumental in that? That is what I'm trying to find out.
It's probably
See, let's go into this. Everything in life is born of 3 causes. The instrumental cause, the material cause, the real cause. Okay? Now, what is the material cause in this?
Our expectation.
The material. I dislike her. What is the material cause?
The external, whatever experiences.
Whatever she is. I mean,
What is the material cause?
the person.
The material called dislike or irritation or what is already lying in my subconscious mind. That is the material cause. She is the instrumental cause. She is the see, the potter makes a pot, but he needs clay. If there is no material called clay, how can he make the pot?
But out of 50 people, why do we have dislike?
Now, okay, that's a very pertinent question. Now, why? Why do I dislike her only and I don't dislike her? Why? Bear with me.
You'll be a better person.
Why? Now you've come to the real question. Why? Why was she instrumental in making that dislike come from the
Why something triggering that?
Why? Now.
Is it because she's different than what you are, or your thoughts are different than what hers are?
The opposite is true.
And the inside material is
you of something that's in you.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good, very good, very good. Huh?
It's the inside material.
That's very, we call it chintan. Ne? Chintan. We do chinta. Whole lives we spend doing chinta, worry. Right? Chintan. I was with this Swamiji for 7 years. And he used to do chintan. He would throw stones chintan. So one day somebody sent a telegram, okay, my father has died. Somebody very close. He took a postcard and he's saying, Priya Pushkar. The name was Pushkar Thaila. He was a big writer. So, in Gujarati say, Taro Bap Mari Gyo. Ne Taro Bap Jeevto Hot. Eno Bap Jeevto Hot. Eno Bap Jeevto Hot. Eno Bap Jeevto Hot. Eno Bap Jeevto Hot. And he filled the whole postcard. Okay, આ બધાને કોણ સંભાળ તારો બાપ કે મારો બાપ? This is chintan. Okay, somebody has died, but if nobody dies, there will be a traffic jam. Right? Okay, it's chintan. Okay, so, right. So she did some meditation and she's saying, because I dislike her because I am
Like
her. Not even like, I am her. How? How does this come about? You talked about the three instruments. Man, Buddhi, Aham. We leave out Chitta. Okay, Man, Buddhi, Aham. Now how does it work? The Aham, how does it work? You have this house, right? Supposing the house had 100 rooms, right? And you have this head waiter or head butler, steward, and he looks after everything in the house. And he doesn't want you to know that something is in your own. What will he do? He'll hide it in some room. He'll hide it in some room that you don't go into. Right? He's hidden it over there. Similarly, this is a psychological house. And the head steward is the ego. Head steward is the ego. And that ego, he likes to hide all these things in different rooms. He's frightened. And one of the things is something in her which I dislike, which is exactly in one of the rooms in my house. Is in the rooms in my house. And the minute she comes in front of me, the ego thinks, alright, that thing has escaped from the room. And if the real owner of the house sees this, push it back into the room. You can get out of my house. And this is in everything that we dislike intensely. Can you see it? I love to play a game. Many of these Jain sadhus, they call me, to give talks. So sometimes I like to throw a small stone. And then I'll throw a small stone about a certain kind of food and they'll say, chi. Right? So such intense dislike, that means definitely deep down you want to eat that food. You get it? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but that's not true though.
Very, very true. It's very, very true.
Why this thought came about?
It's very, very true. That is, when you dislike someone intensely, you dislike something intensely, remember deep down you want it intensely. But just the ego is trying to push it back into a room where you don't know about it. That is where what you want to be free of. Anyway, she is just the instrumental cause. The real material called dislike, anger, irritation is already lying within me. Do I want to be free of it? Then I must thank her that she became the instrument that allowed the irritation to come out into the conscious mind, otherwise it would not have come out. And of course the real cause lies somewhere deep. The real cause lies very, very deep inside.
So how do we work with the likings? If you like something or if you like a person, what is the reason why you like that?
What happens? Supposing you say, "Yaar, you had a very good lecture," what happens? What happens? What happens? My ego expands. My ego expands. Right? So I have to observe it. See? Now what happens? Till here it is okay. Till here it is okay. I am allowed to eat one chocolate. Yeah, I am allowed to eat one chocolate. You say it's a good lecture, I am allowed to eat one chocolate. The second chocolate gives me diabetes. Right? So what do I do? What do I do? She may not agree with you.
No, I just did not agree with the last part.
It's very deep. It's a lot of observation of years to see that. Now, what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying anything, but she says you had a very good lecture. I feel expanded. I eat one chocolate, but I see you coming to meet me. What happens inside? I say she must also say, But that is what I have to do where I'm at that point. Drop it. One chocolate is enough.
So no attachment.
So enjoy one chocolate. Enjoy one chocolate. Right? Don't ask for the second other. That is Vedanta. Not to ask for the other. If somebody comes and gives it to you, enjoy it. Don't say, I don't eat chocolates. Right? Go. Good. It's good to know that people are really interested. It's very good. Usually I just teach the exercises and go away.
So one good thing you want to take only one time from you.
We'll talk a little bit about Omkar. I won't be able to finish everything. We'll talk a little. Omkar is a complete sadhana. I'll go very fast through it so that at least we can start practicing. Omkar has 6 parts. A, U, M. Ardhachandra, Bindu, 5. And Shanti. Lay and Pralay, the gap between one Omkar and the other. Right? This Omkar is wrong, which is here. Right? It's wrong. Right? So, the Ardhachandra, right? That is the yoni, the dot. That is the semen. The semen goes into the yoni, right? This is the umbilical cord, right? And the 3 worlds are born out of it. The 3 worlds are born out of it. The beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God said, and the Word was God, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Now what is this Omkar? I would love to talk about what is mantra, but there's no time. What is sound? What is mantra? Just as we study sound in physics, the rishis have written so deeply about sound. What is sound? Sound English. Physics is just scraping the surface. But because of physics, we have now a language in which we can express it. In the old days, there was no scientific language to express it. So, at one point, you'll ask it, how did this whole game begin? How did this whole game begin? So they'll say, well, there was something called Paramatma, and that Paramatma wanted to experience its own self. And so he created Atma. out of Paramatma. What is the difference between Paramatma and wrong question? You're not allowed to ask. So the Atma is the Paramatma. But there was some differentiation in vibrations, and a nad was created, Paranad, and that nad, the form which we use it is Omkar. So it is the nad of creation and it is the nad of dissolution. All sound was created out of this Omkar. It is the Paranad. Now, it is a complete journey because it takes you from the universe with the most gravitation, down here, the most gravitation. It takes you up U, Ma, Bindu. That guy whom we want to meet, up there, he's sitting in a small chakra called the Bindu. He's sitting in that small chakra. And we're going to penetrate up there. And we use this sound to move up and we penetrate from here into the Brahmarandra. Wake him up. Then everything is okay. We say, hello, how are you? So we say these three sounds in distinct ways to raise the energy. The first is Akar. Akar is said like the English word A. Not only A. We don't say Om, we say A. Because A is hidden in every word and the expression of A will become A. A plus A. Right? We just sit. I'll show you the mudra later on. We just sit and we say the word Ah. And we vibrate the lower abdomen as much as possible in saying it. So we go, take a deep breath and keep the mouth open. Vibrate the lower area. Again, take a deep breath. So practice this. If you can go to the seashore, practice this with the sound of the waves. Practice this. Keep the mouth open. You go into the forest, try to see how the lions or the tigers are roaring. So it is this sound Ah and Oo which the lion or the tiger is creating. It doesn't know how to create Ma. Only man knows how to create Ma. No animal knows. So Ah is the sound of the physical universe. When we say the Gayatri, we say Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha. Right? Bhu, the physical universe. The physical universe was created through the sound called Ah. The physical universe. It has a lot of siddhis in it, mainly related to the material world. The second sound is Oo. And we lift the energy to our chest area. Lift it. And we vibrate the whole chest area. And we say the sound Oo as in we say the English word on, O-N. But we don't say N fully. We go to say N and we cut off our So it will go like this. Vibrate the, right? But we just say okay, take a deep breath. Vibrate the chest area. Vibrate. Again, take a deep breath. have to practice this. I can't make you practice every day, but I have paid for this Omkar with my own blood. My Guru has not taught me the way I'm teaching you. I used to do Akar for 6 months, then he would teach me how to do Ukar, and then again 6 months how to do Makar. I had to practice for 7 hours every day. And next day, if I have not practiced, he would, no lying. No lying. So I'm just giving it to you in 1 teaspoon, I'm putting everything and feeding it into your mouth. Right? Okay? So please practice. This Ukar is the sound of the Bhuvalok, the lok of relationships. I don't like you, so what do? Ukar. Ukar. Right? The sound of relationships. The world of relationships. Om Bhu Bhuva Swara. Akar is the sound of matter. This is the sound of form. And when we go beyond Ukar, form disintegrates. Form disintegrates. Now, this is the sound of all healing also. This is the mother of all Reiki. Reiki is nothing compared to Ukar. Before there was Reiki, there was Ukar. So you do this, it's the mother of all healing. Mainly, today life has become such that there is no, I can't find an English word for it, rus in life. Rus in life. We've lost that emotional touch of life. And unless there's rus, there's no joy in life. There's happiness, there's no joy. Joy has nothing to do with happiness. Joy is doing the small things of life. Maybe brushing your teeth, maybe he's teaching his daughter a nursery rhyme, maybe just driving the car. But each moment of life we extract the juice of life. And for that we need the juice in our hearts. We don't have it anymore, all our hearts are dry. So when we practice this Ukar, the heart becomes alive again. We are more interested in whether we are going to get a heart attack tomorrow. Right? Heart becomes alive, it becomes full of juice. And when the heart is full of juice, it does not matter what is there in life, whether it is an event of happiness or sadness, we extract joy from it. This is the real art of living, not that art of living. Right? The real art of living. The extraction of joy. And it's this sound, Ukar. All the siddhis lie in Ukar. All the siddhis lie in Ukar. Right? It is like, I want to reach that top of the mountain, but in between is the huge valley, and that valley is full of beautiful scenery, lakes and rivers and trees and beautiful animals and flowers. And this is the whole beauty of the spiritual journey, moving from this point into the valley. Once you reach the point of the mountain, it's gone. This beauty, this is Ukar, moving through the valley, the different colors, the differentiation in life, right? What's his name? Narsi Mehta. Rajvalu re Vaikuntni aau. I'll remain in the valley, I don't want to come to the top of the mountain. Rajvalu re Vaikuntni aau. So beautiful. So Ukar is the most beautiful sound in Omkar. Use it judiciously. Don't use it to fulfill any negativity. Right? So we take the energy, we've taken it down from here, and then we balance it over here in the throat, Maka. Right? Take a deep breath. Now, this is the most important sound for us, the Maka. Now, the dislike for her is pulling me, and I want to remain steady over there. I say, right? I'm going in the car, but somebody's car comes this way and I get irritated. Right? Come to your house, you don't ask me for a cup of tea. Right? Huh? So this is the most important sound in our whole sadhana. Use it. You're waiting in a government office. You know how it works in a government office. You'll say, okay, I'll do your work, but first fill in this form. So you've got to fill in that form, then you fill it in. But you first got to take that guy's signature. But if you go to take a signature, you'll say, I don't mind giving the signature, but for that you have to fill in another form. So you go to fill in that form. And then so you get irritated, you lose your faith. Right? This is the way life works. All the 100 Kauravas are in every one. Nobody is free of it. Nobody is free of it. Right? We don't get married to a body, we get married to a psychology. All the 100 Kauravas. So we can't say, oh, she's like this. She has to be like this. All 100 in her. Shakuni is also there, Duryodhana is also there. All of them are. That's the play of life, the cosmic drama of life. Right? So Merka, use this. Bring balance in life. Merka. Right? Now we'll say all three together. For that we'll go 5 seconds Akar. 5. Then Ukar. And Merkar will close the lips and as long as possible. Right? Okay. Take a deep breath. Now, we want to open up a passage over here. You see, we have something called the central brain channel. And it is made of 4. So there are 4 entrances to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 entrances to it. Right? So, we want to open this passage. To move up there. So what we'll do, we will say the word Makar as we say the what we call the Hindi word Anga. Anga. What happens when we say Anga? The tongue touches the top of the talu. It touches the talu. Right? So we'll keep the mouth closed. It's very difficult. We'll take little practice. So we'll go. Right? So it touches, sticks over there. And the vibrations are opening up the subtle channels in the talu. Right? So we practice this now. Take a deep breath. Feel the vibrations. Again, take a deep breath. Start with 5 minutes every day and reach up to 20 minutes slowly. Take a few months, reach up to 20 minutes. Right? Any questions on this part? Otherwise, we'll go ahead.
Reach up to 20 minutes to keep on doing that?
So it's not equal parts, it's 5, 5, and then
Long,
As
5,
long
5
as you
long.
can go. Okay.
5, 5 long. So later on, each part will bring its own overtones. Sound is a very different universe. The whole universe was built through sound. So as the overtones start getting created, then we'll slowly, on our own, know what to do. How to use different overtones. Okay. So come to this. Now we want to go from here to here, longer than here to here. No? It's a longer journey. Longer journey. Patanjali, Sattva Purusha Khyati. I've forgotten the sutra. Where he says that the soul and the spirit, both are equal. Both are equal. But now the soul has to go back to the spirit. Till now, the soul thought that all the light is mine. Now it suddenly realizes that the light belongs to the spirit and I was just a ray of the sun. The source of the energy was the sun. But for some time, till this journey, the ray thinks that it is the sun. Now the soul moves back. This is a very long journey. Usually the guru leaves the disciple over here, the path. Last thing the guru does, he takes a stone and he throws it in the pond, and the reflection of is there in the pond and the ripples are there. The disciple says, I know now what to do. I can differentiate the two lights, the light of the soul, which is a reflection, and the light of the spirit, which is real. So from here we will go into Tivra. So it will go, I'll show it to you once. We'll force the sound right up through that opening to the top of the head. Right? Okay. Need to get
The sound is the anga or which?
Same anga, but we are doing it tivra.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Well, when you know the letters of the alphabet, they are nothing but Kundalini Shakti. And there are many different murkas. So when you go into studying the alphabet, you will go ka, ka, ga, ga. Yeah. It's a different murka. So there are different murkas and each one has a different potency. So the Sanskrit alphabet is nothing but Kundalini. Right? We use words without realizing what energies are hidden in the. So we'll push this right up. Take a deep breath. Take it right up. Take it right up. Nobody's at breakfast. Take a deep breath. Don't do this practice now. First reach 20 minutes of ordinary Omkar, then we'll add this practice. And the final thing is, what is the Ardha Chandana? So when you play the harmonium, at some point in time there is no air left, so you push what is called the Dhaman. So that gives air to the, this is the Dhaman. So once now You've gone here, you don't want to go back
Indeed.
here. So you go. You're holding that sound. At one point there is no air. So you take a very small breath. And you continue. This small breath which we take is called the Dhaman. But we won't go into that today. We'll stop over here. Of course there is the gap between one Omkar and the other, but we don't even have the awareness to discern a gap. So we won't go into that today. We'll stop over here, but please practice this, then maybe we can go ahead from here sometime. Right? So any questions, anyone? So this is in a nutshell. I've taken the Omkar. Usually I take
Is
a
it
very long
necessary to keep a stone when you are doing it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have shown you that. When you do the Omkar, sit on this is a carpet, but keep the finger on the floor. Now there is no floor over here, so keep a stone. Keep a stone and do it this way. Right? So see that one finger is touching the stone.
One finger.
Just one finger, this way. One finger is touching the stone.
What does it mean? What does it imply?
It's like if there's any negative vibration, it gets earthed. There's no harm.
It's like earthing.
Earthing. It's earthing. Any negative vibration gets earthed. Okay. Any questions, anybody? This is a complete journey. It can change our lives. Right?
Can you go back into the explanation of the Om itself? You talked about the yoni, the umbilical cord. What was after that?
See, the Vedas, they start with something like Prajapati eva idam hasti. So first was Prajapati, Brahma. First was Brahma. Tasya vaka dvitya asti. With him was the word. The second was the word. Vaka evam paramam Brahma. But the word was the Param Brahma. Sa Maithunam Sambhavat. He, with his own word, he had intercourse. With his own word, he had intercourse. I can't remember the other, but he says, then all the creatures were born out of this. And when they were born, he went back into that which it came from. The word went back into which it came from. So, what I'm trying to say, this Omkar, he is the Bindu, his semen. He is having intercourse with his word. Sound, the Dhaman, the sound. From that the umbilical cord is born in the three universes and everything was born. That is why Omkar should be written this way, with this and the Bindu on top. That is the way to write it. Not this way. It symbolizes the Bible says the same thing, but the Bible will not talk about him having intercourse, of course. But the Vedas, they talk about it.
Is Omkar mantra recommending in the early morning or other time?
Initially start early morning. Once you become proficient, anytime. It will change many things. My Guru used to say that even by crossing if you say it before crossing the road, if a truck is going to strike you, it won't strike you. That much power.
So is it meditation anyway?
It becomes meditation.
So basically it is vibrating the whole from Muladhara chapter all the way to top. This whole vibration.
Taking the energy from the lowest to the highest.
So is it raising the Kundalini in a way?
Pardon?
Is it raising the Kundalini in a way?
Kundalini, we can talk about Kundalini because I don't want to bring in all that because everything, there are so many misconceptions which come in. We can talk about Kundalini someday, but it is Shakti you're taking to meet Shiv. She wants to meet Shiv, but Shiv sent her out in the world to create the world, right? So she's saying, I want to go back. So you're helping her to go back.
So is it better to do before the refining or after the refining?
After the refining. After the refining. I haven't taught the refining exercises.
Yeah, I think not everybody is aware of the refining.
We'll have to have another session for that.
I don't know if you want to just introduce it, get a few minutes.
It'll be difficult for me to explain all the exercises and what they do and everything. If they're interested, we can meet. I'm still here for 15 days. Right? So. It's 10 to 11. I think 11 was the cutoff.
Yeah, cutoff line.
Thank you so much.
Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.